And I'm Will.
And we're on a mission to help couples live their lives authentically and passionately by following their joy. Today's take is on how to put yourself first without feeling guilty. Let's dive in. And as always, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's first talk about why it's important to put yourself first. We're parents, and I think pretty much any parent can relate to this, that when that baby is actually placed in your hands for the first time, you think for the rest of your life, you're never going to put yourself first. Everything will be about the child. And that's a normal and way to think, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here's why it's important to put yourself first. Because without putting yourself first, you're actually giving your child a depleted version of yourself. It's super, super important to not forget that even though we're parents, it's still okay to play. It's still okay to do things for ourselves. And it's still okay to not always put your child first. Now, hear me out. Listen. Because when we put ourselves first and we are fulfilled as a person, as a mom, as a husband, as a wife, as a father, when we are fulfilled and we have filled our cup first, we are giving our children a much more energetic and much more fulfilled parent. We may react a little bit different. We actually might be calm and patient, like we all know as parents is extremely hard to do. So I really encourage you to take a look at why it's important to put yourself first. Think about the energy that you have, like right after a workout or right after you did something super fun, or maybe you went out with a night with your friends, didn't get super crazy, but just enough to recharge and get that moment to yourself and kind of remind yourself what life is actually about. As parents, it's so often and so easy for us to often put ourselves last because we're thinking about how can I make this best experience for my child? How can I make their lives the best that they can be? If you don't give yourself what you need, you're going to come home from work and you're going to be exhausted. You're going to just want to go to bed. You're not going to want to play with your kids. You're not going to want to be a parent. You're not going to want to sit there and do anything that you're supposed to do as a parent. Cleaning the house, anything like that. Because you're going to not have the energy to do it. But if you take some time to yourself, and we're talking about maybe 15 minutes, maybe a half an hour a day, depending on what your schedule allows and what it is that you find enjoyable. Just putting that time to yourself so you can be more fulfilled, happy, content, more energetic, and you're just going to overall be a better person in general. I can tell you from personal experience that if I don't get my meditation in, if I don't get my workout in, if I feel like there's something that I haven't done for myself that is my daily rituals that I need in order for me to be present and completely happy, that I'm just not pleasant to be around. My children are getting an anxious and very impatient mother, and that's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to Will. It's not fair to myself, and it's not fair to my kids. So really, I can tell you from personal experience that I notice a huge shift in my energy and my attitude in general when I've done stuff for myself and I am fulfilled and I'm ready to take on the day. Us as individuals have a soul's purpose. We have a divine light that needs to shine through us. And if we are depleted, if we are unfulfilled, if we are doing stuff that is sucking the life out of us, and we aren't filling that up in other ways, there is absolutely no way that we can be this loving, divine light that we're meant to be. And that's really what the world needs. The world just needs you to emit your love and to be a presence of love to the world. And that's the best gift that you can give the world, your family, your spouse, anybody in your life. The best gift that you can give them is to put yourself first, fill up your cup first, and then you can serve others and be readily available, present, and your awesome self.
Yeah, and kind of also go on top of that, Regina talked a lot about from the mom standpoint and also from a dad standpoint, coming home from work and being depleted. If you're depleted, what are you going to do? You're going to ignore your kids more. You're going to grab that beer from the fridge and you're going to sit down, you're going to watch a TV show so you can kind of like get a disconnect. Like, I mean, that's what most of us feel. We want that disconnect. And that's not always the best route. I mean, sometimes, yeah, we all need that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that everybody's perfect by any means, but it's just a good thing to be doing these that she's talking about, because when I come home, I want to be present not only for my children, but also for my wife, right?
Right.
Now, so how can we go about this? What are things you can do to really set this up for yourself that Regina just went over? And the first thing is to wake up earlier, right? The easiest way to do this is just to wake up earlier. So start with 15 minutes, start with 30 minutes. Now, I had a coworker recently that we just talked about this, and he said he really would like to work out. And I said, great, wake up 30 minutes earlier and get that workout in. And he told me, well, if I wake up 30 minutes earlier, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to sit down and watch the news or watch a little bit more of ESPN. And yeah, that is going to happen if you allow it to happen. So if you're going to wake up 30 minutes earlier and you're going to be going to bed earlier, right, to make up that time difference. But like I said, starting off with 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just start it off slow. But when you open up that time frame, you need to be present for it. So a lot of times we're already stuck in a routine. Now what you're trying to do is make a new habit. So you're going to wake up 15, 30 minutes earlier. You're going to be changing things up. And that's the whole point. You need to make a new habit. To make a new habit, you need to change things. So when you wake up 30 minutes earlier, you're not going to go through the same things you would normally do before you go to work, because now you're going to be working out. So you need to figure out the best way to go about that. Or not even just working out, but maybe doing yoga, maybe doing meditation. I mean, there's just so many things you can do for yourself. But the idea is that you just need to do it, and you need to create that habit. It's going to be hard at first. You're going to forget to do things. You're going to forget to take your vitamins because you've always taken your vitamins after you had your first cup of coffee. I mean, just silly things like that. But I mean, those, you need to get that habit in there. So get that habit in there. The other thing is that you need to schedule it. And that also may sound silly, but schedule it. Put it on a calendar. I mean, for Regina and I, we have a Gmail account that we have both of our calendars on there so that we both know what's going on.
Right.
So if we both have something that's important to us, we put it on that calendar. This is a non-negotiable time, right? So we set this time in there. Maybe Regina's going out to dinner with her girlfriends. All right, well, I know I need to be home for my kids then, right? So, I mean, it doesn't mean that, oh, well, she's gone, well, that sucks. Now what am I going to do? Well, what you're going to do is take care of the kids. But it goes both ways. So
Right.
then she also gets that. I mean, I also get that time. If I need to do something, I schedule it. She watches the kids. So we both take that time for ourselves. And if, of course, if we want time for us, we will do that. You know, we'll hire a babysitter or whatever we need to do to
Well,
make sure
let's
that
be
happens.
honest. We use my parents.
No, we use, yeah.
Grandparents.
We use grandparents.
Grandparents are free babysitters.
100%. I mean, but the idea here is it's non-negotiable. You schedule it, you do it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Schedule it and do it. Hold yourself to it. You're the boss. You don't reschedule. You make the appointment, right? All right. Last thing that I'd like to talk about is that you are worth it. I'm worth it. Regina's worth it. Everybody is worth it. Everybody deserves 15, 30 minutes, an hour to themselves. If you don't love yourself, then how can you love everyone else? How are you going to love your children? They're going to see that there's something wrong with you. Our kids are great. They soak it all in, and they see things that we have no idea that they're seeing. So remember, you are worth it. And if you have to, sit in front of a mirror and say it to yourself. I am worth it. Sounds silly, right? But do it. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel like, yeah, I know it. I have this. And if you don't, just keep saying it and keep saying it, because you are going to believe it, because it's the truth. You can do this. You need to follow it. You need to start waking up earlier. And I do that just because I want to be able to be present for my kids when I come home from work. So you may not be that way. I mean, I am a night person, so waking up early is the worst. I don't like it. I hate it.
Right.
But at the same time, I love it because I love what I get out of it. But if you want to wait until your kids go down for bed, that's fine too. But at the same time, that's when excuses really start flowing. You know, you want to have that glass of wine with your spouse. You want to watch that TV show with your spouse. You want to have that alone time so that you guys can just chit chat or whatever the case may be. So when it's at night, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But I mean, everybody has their own way, and as long as you can make it work, make it work.
And that's really it, guys. That's how to put yourself first without feeling guilty. So, just to recap, first, why it's important. Again, you're giving the world the best version of yourself. If you're not fulfilled, if you're depleted, no one's going to benefit from it, including yourself. And secondly, how to do it. So Will gave us some really great tips of how to schedule it. If you have some great ideas, feel free to comment below.
Absolutely,
We love to share. We love to collaborate. This is about building a community of how things work for us. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but share it below what does work for you. Please like our video as well, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time.
Until next time.